I used ChatGPT for over a year for my real estate business, and I genuinely thought it was good enough, and it was not. Every time I tried to use it for something that actually mattered, analyzing a deal, reviewing contract language, building a client-facing document, I got something that was close, but not usable. I would spend more time fixing what it gave me than what it would have taken just to do it myself. And I'm not an AI person. I'm a real estate investor and a realtor. So I use these tools that are supposed to make my business run better. And that is the only lens this video is coming from. I switched to Claude, and the difference on the specific tasks that I actually need it for was significant enough that I want to talk about it. The frustration with ChatGPT was never that it was completely wrong. It was that it was consistently almost right. I would ask it to help me analyze a deal, and it would give me something that looked right, but had gaps in the logic I had to catch myself. I would paste in a contract clause and ask it to flag anything unusual, and it would give me surface level read that missed the nuance I actually needed. I would try to build a client document, and it would get partway there and then fall apart. Almost right is not actually useful when you're making real financial decisions and putting documents in front of clients. So I switched to Claude and started running the same tasks through it. Now, let me preface, ChatGPT is honestly insane still. It's a great tool, but once I was introduced to Claude, everything changed. Here are the specific things I use for Claude in my business and why it handles them better. The first is deal analysis. When I'm working through a creative finance structure, seller financing terms, balloon payments, interest rate scenarios, I use Claude to help me stress test the numbers and think through the structure. What is the actual cash on cash return under these terms? What happens if the balloon comes due and rates are still high? Where is the risk in this deal? It gives me a substantive response that actually helps me think, not just a summary of what I already told it. The second is contract language. I am not an attorney and I do not pretend to be, but I deal a lot with contracts and I need to understand what I'm looking at before I get on a call with my title company or sit across from the seller. And this helps speed up that process even if I do want to read it. I paste in a clause and I ask Claude to explain it in plain, simple English and flag anything that looks unusual for this type of transaction. The outputs I get back are noticeably more thorough than what ChatGPT was giving me. It catches the nuances. It flags things that I would not have thought to ask about. The third is client-facing documents. This is the one that surprised me the most. I needed a professional leave behind for my tax strategy consultations, something I could hand a client after a strategy call that was clean, well organized, and matched my branding. I spent a significant amount of time trying to get ChatGPT to build this, and it could not get there no matter how specific I got with the prompts, no matter how many edits after the fact. Claude handled it literally in one session. The layout was clean, content was structured the way I actually wanted it presented, and it looked like something a professional put together. That document now goes out after every strategy call I do, and it's been phenomenal for my business. All right, guys, but listen, this is the true game changer that changes everything about Claude Code. You might have heard about it, and if you haven't, here's your reminder to deep dive into it because it's changing the world instantaneously. This is worth knowing about even if you're not technical at all, which I am not. Claude Code lets you decide a tool you want to build, and it literally builds it right in front of you. No coding required. You just explain what you need, plain English. For a real estate investor, the most obvious application is a deal analyzer. I was running the same numbers on every single deal I looked at: purchase price, down payment, interest rate, loan term, rent, vacancy, maintenance, CapEx, taxes, insurance, over and over in a spreadsheet I had cobbled together that kind of worked, but was slow. I described to Claude exactly what I needed: deal analyzer that takes all of these inputs, runs the math, tells me the cash on cash return, monthly cash flow, and whether the deal hits my personal buy criteria. Claude Code built it. I did not write a single line of code. I have since used it to build a super simple seller financing scenario calculator that lets me plug in different term combinations and see the cash flow side by side. Again, no coding, just describing what I needed. Now, the cool part about this is I can use this calculator in live negotiations with sellers to figure out where I need to be to make it make sense. If you have ever said, I wish I had a tool that did exactly this for my specific business, this is what Claude Code actually is. And you don't have to pay a developer thousands of dollars to do it. Now, the honest limitations before I wrap. It's not a replacement for expertise. Anything with real legal or financial consequences, I verify with a specialist. It does not know your local market. It does not know what properties are actually trading at in your city right now, and it makes mistakes. So you have to read what it gives you critically. The right frame is a capable analyst working alongside with you, not a decision maker. Use it that way, and it will save you real time on the analytical and document side of this business. True game changer. A year ago, I would have rolled my eyes at this video. I do not think AI was relevant to what I do, and goodness was I wrong. Not because it's magic, but because the parts of my business, guys, that take the most time and mental energy, analyzing deals, reviewing contracts, building client documents, are exactly what Claude handles extremely well. When you free up that time that you can put back into your relationships and finding deals, that's where this can be a true game changer. If you tried ChatGPT for your real estate business and it felt like it almost worked, but not quite, promise you, try Claude. Start with something specific, paste in a contract clause or a deal you're trying to underwrite and see what it comes back with. Drop a comment and tell me how you are using AI in your real estate business right now. I read all the comments, and I will see you on the next one.